Hi, welcome to my first ever ukulele tutorial. Today we're going to be learning This Little Light of Mine, and we're just going to use 3 chords. It's in the key of C. So the 3 chords we're going to use are your C chord, F chord, and G7 chord. So I'll show you those right now. If you don't know your strings, they are G, C, E, A, and I remember those using good, G, cats, C, eat, E, apples, A. Good cats eat apples, G, C, E, A. Now the first chord we're going to do is your C chord. So you're going to take your 3rd finger or your ring finger and put it on the 3rd fret of your A string. Make sure you're on the tip of that finger. And you're going to strum all the strings. Make sure you're pressing down hard enough with that 3rd finger. You can either use a pick to strum, or you can use your 1st finger across the strings. I'm going to use a pick, just so it'll be a little bit louder. And your next chord is F, your F chord. To make your F chord, you're going to take your 1st finger, or your pointer finger, and put it on the 1st fret of the E string. And then you're going to take your 2nd finger or your middle finger and put it on the 2nd fret of your G string. And make sure that you're on the tips of those fingers and you're not laying across any other string, because if you just barely touch another string, you'll mute that string from ringing out. So you got to be on the tips of those fingers. Also, make sure that you're not on top of a fret, those little metal things. Well, on my ukulele, they're metal, because then you'll mute that string from ringing out too. You want to be right by the fret, but not on top of it. And then your 3rd chord is G7. To make your G7 chord, you're going to keep your 1st finger will be in the same place that it is for your F chord, so the 1st fret of the E string. And then you'll take your 2nd finger or your middle finger and put it on the 2nd fret of the C string. And then your 3rd finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of your A string. So it's going to be kind of tight there. Make sure you're on the fingertips. There's your G7. And then for this song, we're going to be going from C to G7. So when you go from your C chord to your G7, you can leave your 3rd finger down and just slide it back 1 fret and then plop 1 and 2 down. And to go from G7 back to C, lift 1 and 2 and just slide that 3rd finger back up 1 fret. Okay? So you don't have to take all your fingers off and then put them all back down, because your 3rd finger is on the right string when you go from C to G7 and G7 back to C. So for This Little Light of Mine, we're going to play our C chord 8 times, and then we're going to play our F chord 6 times, go back to C, play it 10 times, then we're going to go to G7 and we're going to strum twice, and then we're going to go back to our C chord and strum it 4 times. So C, F, C, G7, C, and that's it. So 8, 6, 10, 2, 4. Right? So let's try it. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Good. So once you get that, if you sing any other verse, all the chord changes are the same. You change at the same time. So now you have This Little Light of Mine in the key of C. Comment below if this was helpful for you and you learned this song, and if you have any suggestions or recommendations of songs you'd like to learn that you'd like me to make some tutorials of for you.